Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 7 and 8 of Atomic Habits. This was one of my it's honestly one of my favorite books ever. I'm so excited to be sharing tonight. My name is Natalie Borges, Emerald Brand Ambassador, and I'm just so excited to share tonight because, like I mentioned before, these chapters were actually pretty encouraging. Wouldn't you say? There was like, oh, okay, it's not just self-control, right? There's so much more to it. And so chapter 7 was the secret to self-control. And we all want self-control. I mean, it's a fruit of the spirit, right? We love Jesus. We want to be more like him. We want self-control, right? But there's so much more to this than just willpower. And when I read this last year, it hit me really, really hard. And so rereading it once again was still like mind blown, because it talks about optimizing our environment. So it's not just about us having this strong willpower. We're just so strong and mighty. We can just do it all. It's actually not that. And it opens it up with the Vietnam heroin addicts. And wasn't that so incredible that these guys were addicted to heroin when they were in Vietnam, right? They get back to their regular life, and only 5% of them, I think that's what it was, right? Yep. Only 5% of them became re-addicted within that year. And we know heroin, right? We know that this is like one of the most addictive drugs ever. Like, you don't just get off heroin, right? But because it was the environment that was causing that, when they came back home, they didn't have that temptation. It wasn't there because they were completely out of that environment. And I mean, honestly, eliminating the root is what is going to get you where you want to go. I mean, even in your business, it's like, what is the root? The root is the environment. And so it's not about motivation, which is another, mind blown, right? Because we just think we need motivation. It's the lack of motivation. If I could only be more motivated, if I could only have more self-control, then I can be more successful. I could only be successful at this business if I could just be more self-disciplined, self-control, and make time to do my IPA. Like, it's not that. It's about creating this environment, because self-control is actually a short-term strategy. It's not going to give you that longevity that we all want. I can honestly stay here forever, because there's so many things in this chapter that I really, really love. It talks about the cues too. So cues matter more. It says that disciplined people, right, are actually just better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require this heroic willpower and self-control. So that's one thing that, I was even thinking about as I'm getting ready to move. So I work from my garage, and now my garage has become a storage place. And so I've recreated this little space in my bedroom where I can work, right? Because I knew that if I didn't have a space in the midst of all that's going on to work, I wasn't going to be able to get stuff done, right? So work with what you have, but work with your environment so that this really ties in with chapter 8 too, like making it attractive, but I don't want to get there yet. But it's also gave this really great example about the horses and the lady who had picked up smoking, riding horses, right? And then she quits smoking, gets on a horse, quits smoking, and then also quits riding horses. And then gets on a horse, I guess it says years later, decades later, gets back on a horse, had already quit smoking, but because that cue was there, the horses remained the cue, she was craving a cigarette, and she had quit decades, it had been decades since she had been smoking, right? So our cues are really important, which leads to that next point of you're not going to really forget, you're not going to forget it, but you can create an atmosphere that can help you break that habit. In my house, I don't keep chips in my house, y'all, because if I have chips in my house, I'm going to eat chips all the time because I love it. And so what environment are you creating for yourself, for your business, for your health, for the health of your family? Because I can't, if you want to break a habit, if you have ice cream every day after dinner, you're probably going to want to get rid of the ice cream that's in the freezer, instead of trying to have, oh my God, I just have to be more self-control and not have ice cream, at the end of dinner. Well, how about you just don't buy it? And that's going to help you tremendously. I've lived by this for many years because I know myself and I'm a snacker. And so, what else? Gosh. Okay. I guess we should, is there anything else I want to get in this chapter? Yeah, I love these examples too of like, if you're trying to work your business, but you're just watching TV and you want to stop watching TV, but the TV is in your office, for example, or if your TV is in your bedroom and you work from your bedroom, maybe get rid of the TV that's in your bedroom, right? Like help yourself create a new habit. Because if it's there, you don't want to spend all that energy trying to break a habit when you can just change your environment and then the habit is gone. Isn't that amazing? I thought that was really encouraging when I first read this. Okay, so yes, optimizing your environment. And it talks about, how you want to make, one of the first laws of behavior change is making that addiction habit invisible. Okay, let's go on to chapter 8, which we know that the first law was make it obvious, right? So now chapter 8 goes into the second law, which is make it attractive, which that's not surprising, right? I mean, if we make it more attractive, we're going to want to do it. I mean, we are in marketing, guys, like Plexus, the new branding. I mean, is it not more attractive? I've had people say, oh my God, like I want to try some because it just looks better, right? So we know attraction marketing works. We know that if it looks better, more people are going to want to try it. He opened up chapter 8 with the baby birds and how they exaggerated the mother's beak and it excited them more. The bigger the beaks or the more dots they put on the beaks so that the baby birds can identify their mama, they were so excited because even humans, we do better when things are exaggerated, when they look better, bigger, and they're more attractive. We are dopamine driven, and that's what chapter 8 really talks about, how to make a habit irresistible. I just really feel like without that desire, without there being an initial desire, there isn't going to be action. And he really talks about that, breaks that down, even talks about food science, right? And how, we go to the supermarket and the cereal box, I mean, you look at the picture of the cereal box, it's going to look so much more irresistible than the actual real thing, right? Like the burger and the commercial is going to look so much more amazing than when you're actually sitting down and eating it, because they want you to have that initial response. Yeah, the food science stuff was super interesting. Talks about, dopamine, and dopamine is just an intense feeling of reward. We want it. It makes us feel good, but it's not just about pleasure. He says here that, it does so much more than that. It's, we know that it plays a central role in many neurological processes, including motivation, learning, and memory. punishment and aversion. And they did this study with the scientists. There was a scientist that did the study with the rats, and they blocked the release of dopamine for the rats, and the rats literally lost their desire to live. They died. So we need dopamine. And talks about, whenever you predict that an opportunity will be rewarding, your levels of dopamine immediately spike. So in anticipation of that, it'll spike. And whenever dopamine rises, so does your motivation to act. So, I mean, there's so much we can continue to talk about here, because it's talking about the temptation bundling. Then it goes into, something that I had tried even before was, with the habit stacking and the temptation bundling formula, where it's like, after whatever current habit you have, I will, whatever habit you need to create. So for me, I remember when I tried this, I tried it and it was like, after I eat lunch, right? Because that's a habit that I need to do every day. I will read for 15 minutes. After I read for 15 minutes, I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to go outside, get some fresh air. And that was working. But guess what happened? If I skipped lunch, all of it kind of got messed up, right? So really, whenever you're doing this, make sure that it's a habit that you are going to stick to. You see, lunch you should stick to. But if I skip lunch, it really does mess up everything else. But yeah, so habits are dopamine driven feedback loop. So when dopamine rises, so does your motivation to act. We talked about that. And then the strategy is to pair an action you want to do with an action that you need to do. I'll open it up now. I do have a question here, specifically about chapter 7. What did chapter 7 make you think of in your own life about the power of your environment and that power versus self-control, and also your business? So what didn't it make you think of, because this environment versus self-control was so mind-blowing to me. So if anyone wants to just talk about that, open it up now so that y'all can do so.
Hey, Nat, Leslie. That spoke to me, 92 and page 93. I have an office. It's a little messy right now. And because it is, I don't go in it. And I don't get as much done because of that. It says, you need to create a more disciplined environment. It's not super disciplined in my bedroom, sitting there or sitting in here with the TV going. That's something I need to work on, because it's a habit to just sit and watch TV. I've got my computer in front of me, but I'm not really, placing a lot of importance on what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, this whole chapter really spoke to me.
Yeah. Same with me. I mean, even with the kids here, being home with my kids 24/7, I have to make sure that wherever I'm going to work is going to be clean. Like, that is something that really does affect me too.
I have to agree with that. I don't know if you guys can hear me. My internet's pretty bad up here. But they say a clear desk is a clear mind. And I truthfully believe that. I have one upstairs in my office, and the one upstairs, I get so much more work done. It's just, I have everything laid out. I have certain things in certain places, and downstairs it's kind of chaotic. It's in my kitchen. There's things happening at all times. So I absolutely love that he pinpointed that, and being in certain environments can really change the entire atmosphere of your business.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I've even gotten a lot more intentional with association within working my business, and I make different color folders for, like, I have all my retention stuff in one folder and whatever leadership stuff in another folder. And I try to just have that folder out when I'm working on that. So mentally,
That's so good.
it's like, because I mean, the higher you get, the more little fires you have in every single category, and then you're doing a lot mediocre and not excellent. And I've learned this the hard way. So I try, it's a work in progress, to just focus on that and associate it, help my brain with like colors.
So good.
So having my office also in my bedroom has been a major, I don't want to say setback, but whatever. It's been a challenge, right? Because I try to make sure that my bedroom is the one place in my whole house that is clean, right? Because I have a really small house. So this is just, it's what I'm working with, right? And I noticed that I started doing all of these Post-it notes, like all of these little ideas and calls I need to do and videos I need to make and posts I need to do. And it just became chaotic over here. So then I would be sleeping here and then I would wake up and I would see it all right here. And it was not good, right? Like it caused me anxiety. Like it's not, having your workspace in your bedroom is not ideal, right? And so if you have a house that's bigger than 1,500 square feet on the beach, then have it be somewhere else, right? But this is just the best that I can do right now. So what I'm working with is I do my all of my energy goes towards making sure my room over here is clean. And then I don't have a million Post-it notes everywhere causing me anxiety. So that really helps me to be productive. If this space is nice and clean, then I can get a lot more accomplished. So I'm a huge, huge believer in that.
That's so good. Yeah, I guess that kind of ties to my second question, which is how can you enhance your work environment to cultivate a better atmosphere for IPA? So yes, I mean, a cleaner environment, that 100% works for me.
I was going to answer next this question. So one thing that helps me cultivate a great environment was setting out any accomplishments or like memorabilia from Plexus on my wall above my desk. So I have like, but I made it pretty. And so I have like, you know, all the rank ups, and then I have my little paper clips you gave me and my, any bands that I have my, I am Emerald sign, like, so I feel like a winner
Yeah.
in my space, even if I'm not feeling very winning at the moment. But I would come here and be like, yeah, I really love this. Look at all these cool things like I've done and I've experienced, and it'll like just motivate me to want more on the wall. So
That's
showcasing all of my things has been, making a winning environment has made me want to win.
I love that. That is amazing. I really love that.
You're the one who told me. Take it up. It was great advice. You duplicated down. So now I'm like, telling my, hang your thing up right above your computer.
Celebrate those wins. That's right.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm gonna feed off what Stephanie said. Is I just ordered like little picture frames for all of my achievements and everything, because I think seeing will keep you focused and in the game. I would love to send my children away forever so then I can like really focus, but I can't do that. So like just putting everything up, you know, that you've achieved with Plexus, and even like products I have on my desk, you know, just to like keep like task at hand. So
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
For me, I'm not sure how good my internet is either because it's storming. But for me, I have like a dry erase calendar, a dry erase board, and I write like what I need to do the next day on that. I can fill out people I need to contact on the calendar, and it's just something I can come in and look at versus having a lot of papers and stuff on my desk.
Yeah. Nicole?
Okay, yeah, I'll hop in now. So I think just for me, when I was first starting my business, I didn't have a desk. I didn't have a solidified place that I did work. I literally would sit on my couch, go on my phone. And so I think that, you know, having a solidified place, getting yourself a desk, whether it is I work in my bedroom too. It's in the corner, but I have also decorated it and made it a place where it's aesthetically pleasing for me and brings me joy when I sit down. But having that solidified space for yourself, because that really shifted like me taking myself more seriously too. Me taking my business more seriously and running my business like a business because I had a place to do that. So if you don't have a workplace for yourself yet, that's a success tip. Get a desk.
Yeah. And yeah, you don't even need an office. Like wherever you can just fit a little something. You don't need like, I don't have my bedroom is so small, but I just have a little table right here. You don't need this elaborate office. You just need a designated space to create that. So that's awesome.
I can totally agree with you guys on the cleanliness and having a space. Before I had an office, and I knew that honestly, I had to eliminate any reason for me to be like, "Ugh, I can't, I'm not doing my IPA right now." So I would wake up before my kids. So that would eliminate all like, you know, distractions from them. And if I knew that they might be waking up while I was working, I honestly would work in my closet. I know it sounds crazy, but I got so much done in there. I got the amount of work that I was getting done, you know, during the day, like it would take me hours. Like I could accomplish that in like 30 minutes, you know, versus spending all day trying to get stuff done with kids and husbands and messes. And really just as far as environment goes, just making sure that my house, if I knew I was going to work at a certain amount of time, like during nap time, I would make sure that dishes were done and everything was done if that was going to be a setback for me, which it would be, knowing that there was dishes to do. And thank you for the birthday wishes. um, we're celebrating when this reset's done because yeah, anyway. But yeah, really just setting yourself up for success, just like, you know, having a workout area. This is different than work, but I made it cute and I wanted to use it. So I feel like just knowing the things that'll set you up for success and hold you back and getting rid of those and adding the ones you want is super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because even for not just work, for life, right? Like if you want to eat healthier, if you want to work out, all of this applies. So the last question I had here, what's an example of anticipating a reward for your business? Since the greater the anticipation, the greater the dopamine spike. So what's an example of anticipating a reward for your business?
Okay, so I think I understand what you're asking. I really, when I don't want to do something, like literally just really don't want to do something, but I know it needs to be done, I really think about, you know, specifically right now, Emerald. But in the past, it would have been different ranks and stuff. But like, I think about things like that. And I think about being at convention and like being on the stage. Like for the longest time, I imagined from my very first convention, like, cause I caught the vision, right? I got there, I like watched these people go across the stage and I'm like, oh my gosh, And I saw families sitting down on the front row with their kids, their spouses and their kids, watching them go across. And it was like this whole thing. And I like had this vision, oh my gosh, I want one day to like do that. And I want my husband or my kids to be there and to like be so proud. You know, I want to work hard for my family. And it was like this big thing. It's like I like love it, right? So when I really don't want to do something, just because it could be for whatever reason, I start thinking about the stage, like, because not necessarily for other people, but like I did it. That's what the recognition is for, right? That you worked hard, you achieved this, and here's your reward. And that your family or whoever can like be there and like, you know, this is why mommy worked so hard. This is why you work so hard, and providing like a better life and like all of that. I also think about like Emerald, the Emerald extravaganza and stuff. You know, I have like a picture saved. Natalie had wrote my name in the sand, was like, hey, you know, I want you here. And I was like, man. So I imagine myself, and even Natalie, you know, she's like, hey, you gotta like, I want you in Hawaii with me. And I'm like, I want to be there too. But I imagine things like that are very tangible to me. And I anticipate it, and it like excites me. So then it's like, whatever I'm not wanting to do, I'll be like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm just going to do it anyways. You know, that's literally what I do, because if not, I like don't hold myself accountable. I need to like feel that. And then I just push through it, and then it's not a big deal. And I'm like, why was I stuck there?
Mhm.
That was dumb. But anyways, that's what I anticipate, is like things like that.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, same. Natalie wrote my name in the sand 2022. I put it as the screen saver of my phone, and I saw it every single day, because Hawaii, that was my biggest reward. That right there for me. I mean, yes, walking the stage was amazing. It was amazing. Everything I wanted it to be. But Hawaii, like that is my reward, you know? And so whatever that is for you, maybe it's the bonus, maybe it's just, you know, what that thing is going to be able to help you provide for your family, whatever that is, whatever that reward is, really make that a visual thing for yourself so that you can see it. You can remind yourself of that. Anyone else want to just share any last minute thoughts?
Hi, I'm Erin. I just wanted to share about how actually the people that I've failed in the past are the ones that like get me to keep going. Like I have in the past, you know, given up on reaching out to people that have told me no, or they've given up on Plexus after only a month. And I just keep thinking to myself, Erin, if you just reach out to that one person who truly needs you, and I have this whole list of people that I know want this opportunity, want these products. And if I'm too chicken to even reach out to them, I'm not doing anyone a service, me or them. There's so many things, you know, we already talked about, like we want the cars and we want the trips to Hawaii. All of that really motivates me, of course, but you know, the reason I got into this was because I knew that my friends and family needed this, and it was what I had been searching for, and I felt really compelled to share it. And when I think about like, oh gosh, you know, it's late, should I send that message, or, you know, should I send her, you know, a third message this week, even though she hasn't responded? It's like, no, Erin, just do it. Like you're doing a service. And if you're not doing your job, that's the only time you're really failing.
That's good. So
I would say mine is experience. I'm in it for like the memories and the experience, which is why I know other people like that. And that was why I was sharing my convention highlights on Facebook, because what I walked away from and what I want again is all those experiences. So for my motivation, it's like, you know, I have friends and our teammates that were all like right there ready to go to Emerald, and we're all looking at each other, and next year we're going to be there. And so now I'm like, I can't not, like, we've already planned the experience. So I'm like, but I want that experience with my friends. Like, the award is cool, all this stuff is cool, but like, I want the experience and the moment. And like, I hold on to those experiences so hard. So I want like the memories to hold on to forever, more than just the material things.
Yeah, I love that. So good.
And I want somebody to cry and point a phone at me.
I will.
Yeah, we're game. We're down for that.
We are going to cry and hold the phone right in front of me for sure.
Honestly, then it's probably just gonna make me laugh, to be honest.
And I'm gonna shout out, I'm so proud of you, and you better cry.
I really was in the moment there. Wow.
Oh man, these are amazing experiences for sure.
I have something. So on a really smaller scale, but very important scale, our IPA chat and our empowered team chat. I love when we shout our teammates out. Like when Natalie shouts me out on a join, my dopamine, I'm like, I still get hype. I'm like, I got a join. Like this, like I get so excited. And then I love when my team sees me in the trenches with them. And so that just keeps me going. And I absolutely love the dynamic of those chats, because that dopamine rush for me is when I get a shout out, or I get a shout out one of my girls. So I love being in the trenches and everybody seeing that hard work.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
All right, I'll share real quick. Hopefully I have good enough service. So my biggest reward that keeps me going is a year and a half ago, my husband and I bought our dream land. And then we sold 2 houses to build our dream house, and everything crazy with COVID happened, and we can't afford to build that house anymore. So my biggest reward is, and I tell my husband every single day, I'm like, I'm going to get, when I get to Emerald, I know no matter what, we can build that house. And even this morning, we just finished our house plans last night and signed off on everything. And I was like, we're moving into an apartment this weekend, which is not what I want to be doing, but it's life. So I'm packing today. And I called him and I was like, just so you know, the next time we move and we are done packing, we're moving into our forever home. And he even said, he's like, well, you better hit Emerald then. So he has my back, that like to support me and keep pushing through the hard times, because that reward is going to be on the other side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you totally are. You are, yeah. You are diamond, girl.
Thank you.
Love you. All right, guys, if no one's gonna say anything else, we will conclude tonight's call. Thank you so much for being on. This was awesome. And we will see you guys next week for chapter 9 and 10. Good night, guys.